This is Noteworthy, a podcast brought to you by the Westford Academy Ghostwriter. We feature impressive musicians from all different grades, exploring their talents and motivations.
This episode of Noteworthy features Taiga Kambara, a senior at WA who is heavily involved in band and plays variations of the same instrument.
So, I started saxophone the summer before 7th grade, and the reason why is because, well, first of all, I was living in Japan at the time, and elementary schools go until 6th grade. Now, I was going to switch to a different school in 7th grade, and that school was also a middle school with a high school attached to it. My brother went to that school, so I've been to many of their performances that they had, since my brother was in the theater, and he was kind of responsible for the sets and sounds and so on. Well, anyways, I've always been there, and I've always seen their jazz band perform, and I was really fascinated by it. My parents both loved jazz, so they always loved to take me to the concerts. And through that, I always saw the saxophone player. I thought it was the coolest sounding instrument ever, and I told myself that I'm going to play that in middle school. So over the summer, I practiced 3 months straight alto saxophone, and in the coming September, I went to the band director of the middle school and played in front of him and asked him whether I can join the band. He said I was at the level where I can join, and I joined, and 3 months after that, I moved to this country, and well, here I am. So my first experience playing the saxophone was interesting, because I kind of had this image in my head of what a saxophone should sound like, because I've listened to a lot of the music played on the saxophone. But whenever you pick up your instrument for the first time, you sound like a dying goose on a good day. So I was kind of shocked at how terrible I could sound, but at the same time I was very happy that I could make a sound, because I had totally no idea how this chunk of metal was going to make a sound. So I was very excited, but kind of upset that I'd sound terrible. And this sort of weird emotion of excitement and sadness helped me propel through the first 3 months of practicing on my own, because I believe that you need a lot of dedication and devotion to your craft, to your instrument, in order to practice on your own. But that experience of playing the first note has given me the sort of motivation to pull through that 3 months.
Though Kambara started by playing only one type of saxophone, he eventually expanded his musical repertoire through the years.
So I play three kinds of saxophones, that is. It's the alto sax, tenor sax, and soprano sax. I started off on the alto saxophone. That is typically the case for most saxophone players. It's the easiest to control in terms of the sound, and it's a nice size for somebody younger. So it typically start with this alto sax. And in 7th grade, in Japan this was, my band director told me that we didn't have enough tenor players, so he was looking for somebody that can also play the tenor, and I was super duper excited about playing the saxophone already, and I was like, man, I can play another kind of saxophone, why not? So I started to play the tenor and alto for concerts. That's why I would play tenor on one piece and then switch to alto, and so on and so forth. So I've been playing tenor almost as long as my alto. However, in Westford, I've been playing alto for most ensembles. That's why I just spend the most time on the alto sax. 2 years ago, when I decided to finally buy my own tenor saxophone, at the instrument shop in Japan, which is where I buy all my instruments, I found this. Well, I was looking at soprano saxes as well, because I've never seen one actually, and I saw this one soprano sax that I really liked. It's the one I have right now. Typically saxophones have either silver or gold body, but this one is black because it has nickel coating on it. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I wanted to try to play it, so I asked the owner of the shop, and I played it. I actually sounded pretty good first time I played compared to the alto sax, that is. So I loved it, and actually, it was impulse shopping, not gonna lie. I was like, oh, I'm buying a tenor, but here's the soprano sax. I'm gonna buy that too because I'm already buying a tenor. That's why, I started playing the soprano because of a shopping spree. Whoops.
Kambara started playing the saxophone in Japan in middle school, but there were many reasons why he decided to continue even after moving to the U.S.
Well, first of all, it's definitely one of the things that's helped the transition to this country, the band program, that is, because, Mr. Arsenal, he was the band director of the middle school back then, and when I first met him, he's been in Japan, like, he's taught in Japan, so we instantly, like, had a connection there, and he, like, really helped me, kind of make this, transition into this country, so, like, that's one of the reasons why I've stuck with band, in middle school.
Additionally, being part of a band has spurred him to improve his own playing.
So one of my, there are several motivations. First of all, the fact that I'm playing in an ensemble, like, with my peers is one of the biggest motivations for me, because there are many people around me who are constantly getting better at playing their instrument. And I kind of feel this urgency that I want to get better as well, and just watching others improve and play these wonderful instruments kind of inspires me to continue on. The other component is the fact that saxophone is a relatively new instrument in terms of actually everything. This was created in the 1800s, I believe? I need to check that, actually, by this Belgian dude called Adolf Sax. Anyways, since it is a newer piece of instrument, there is constantly more new literature that I can play coming out, especially with in the concert band as well, but also in terms of jazz band. And as I said, my beginning of this instrument was jazz. So listening to great players like John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, Cannonball Adderley, I feel that I'm constantly reminded that there's so much more that I can do on this instrument, that it's such a versatile, has a versatile tone and application in various genres of music. So the sense of oblivion, the fact that I don't know enough about the saxophone because there's just so much more to see, motivates me. I just want to explore, and I am enjoying exploring this instrument called the saxophone.
As for the future, Kambara believes he will continue to play.
In college, I am definitely thinking about joining an ensemble and and obviously playing with the college students. But beyond that, I think that playing an instrument is kind of like riding a bicycle, where once you learn it, you don't really forget it, and it's something that you can always come back to when you're more settled in your life or when you have more time. I'm determined to make saxophone a part of my life and something that I would continue on for the rest of my life, either just practicing by myself or perhaps forming a group with a couple of buddies once I'm 50 and continue playing. Once again, saxophone is a versatile instrument, so I feel that it's easy to find an opportunity where I can play my instrument. That's why I'm trying to make this it already is, but I'm determined to make this a hobby that I can continue on throughout my life.
Kambara also has some advice for any aspiring or new musicians out there, along with anyone who wants to start playing an instrument but hasn't before.
Music is typically in you for pretty much everybody. You would pick up an instrument and realize that you can play one of your favorite tunes on it or whatever, and you can always find a way to enjoy it. So I would like to say that, actually, like myself, starting to play the alto sax in 7th grade is relatively late for somebody in Westford who has been who has been playing since 4th grade. But I picked it up, and I would like to say that I am part of the band community, and that it's a great part of my life. So the world of music is very welcoming. It is open to everybody, and the community is always wants new players, no matter what the experience level. So I would like to say not to be afraid, not to be shy, and even if you have like a slight hint, an inkling of you want to play an instrument, I would say just go head first and just start playing.